Hello everybody. I'm glad to be back here once again tonight. I'm glad we are going to have much more tonight. And I first of all want to apologize for yesterday. I'm very sorry that we couldn't have our class yesterday. I needed to attend to a number of things yesterday, and that necessitated my absence. So do accept my apology, and kindly bear with me as I share this broadcast with all our social handles. I'll be back shortly, please. I'll be back with you shortly. Please kindly bear with me. Kindly bear with me. I'll be back with you shortly. Right. You are welcome back once again. Now, please, if you can hear me, I need you to put "I can hear you" in the comment section. I've not seen anybody yet, but I know you'll come up shortly. If you can hear me, kindly put "If you can hear me." If you can hear me, kindly put "I can hear you" in the comment section. If you can hear me, kindly put "I can hear you" in the comment section. I want to be sure you can hear me. If you can hear me, kindly put "I can hear you" in the comment section. All right, while I wait our comment, I know it takes time for you to hear me over there. Let us quickly do a brief review. We've said quite a number of things. Let us do that very quickly as we proceed tonight. The last time, we earlier looked at the relevance of branding with respect to marketing. We looked at the relevance of branding with respect to marketing. We also looked at what branding is. We went further to look at the uniqueness of branding. We further looked at the key thing about branding, which is perception. Perception. Working on our perception, on how people perceive us, is very, very important. Working on our perception, on how people see us, is very, very, very important, because that's going to affect how they are going to relate with us. That's going to affect how they are going to do business with us. That's going to affect a whole lot of things about our business, about our brand, right? Now, we also went further to look at the kinds of branding. We looked at the kinds of branding. Sorry, please. We looked at the kinds of branding. We looked at personal branding. We looked at corporate branding. We looked at service branding. We looked at geographical branding. We looked at business branding and upgraded branding. There are a whole lot more. These were just the ones we mentioned the last time, right? And we will just proceed from here without wasting much time tonight. I don't intend to spend much time tonight. I intend going straight to the point as much as I can. So tomorrow we will meet for the last day. And that will be my last broadcast, as that will be my last class for the year. Of course, I will have several broadcasts even later in the week and even in the succeeding weeks. But this will be our last Billionaires Academy online class for the year. However, in 2021, we are going to have a whole lot more of this. Every month, we're going to have several online classes, and then there's going to be there's going to be a class. I believe you'd like to be a part, and that will be later in February. I'll talk more about that much later. But nevertheless, let us further look at what is personal branding. What is personal branding? Like I earlier said the last time, I said I consider this kind of branding the most important one. Personal branding for me is the most important kind of branding. Why? Because whatever affects us affects our business. Whatever affects us affects everything around us. Somebody said, to change the world, first change yourself. That's powerful. To change the world, first change yourself. To change the environment, first change yourself. To change your business, first change yourself. What happens within affects what happens without. What happens within affects what happens without. Like I earlier said, you are first the product, and until you sell, nothing sells. You are first the product. So if you don't sell, you can sell nothing. If you don't sell, you can't sell nothing. And that is very, very important. Selling yourself is very, very important. Now, 2-3 days ago, I saw a video that was made by Wuli Arole, and it was an amazing. He's a comedian in Nigeria, and there he highlighted a lady whom he had known in his school days at Ile-Ife, while he was at Ife. You know, he knew this lady. This lady was a younger graduate, a younger student, while he was still at Ife. He met this lady recently. This lady graduated. She had a first class with 2 degrees. She had a first class in law. She had she had 2-1 in law, and she had another in medicine. And amazingly, he saw this lady selling at a very small kiosk, selling yam, fried anything fries. The place wasn't looking too well. And, he made a profound statement. He got concerned, and he did something that was very wonderful. He just took to the social media, to his Facebook page, and talked to his fans live. He went on live, viewed the lady, viewed himself, and talked to his fans and pleaded with his fans to assist the lady. And amazingly, there was an impressive turnout. That's the reason is because he had built a brand around himself. He had built a brand around himself such that everything he said, people bought into it. People bought into his idea. People bought into his ideology. People bought into his plea for that lady. And the life of that lady changed within a moment. Same happened with Rene Omokri. The time when there were issues at Southern Kaduna, Rene Omokri took to his social media page, and he pleaded with people to send him money into an account he created for that purpose. And amazingly, within hours, just few hours, he raised millions. Within few hours, he was able to raise millions of naira. He raised millions of naira. People bought into him. How powerful this is. This speaks of the power of influence. That is what branding does. Branding empowers us with influence. Branding equips us with influence. Branding is, in a sense, also synonymous to influence. Remember, I said that it is impact in the business world. It is impact plus influence that leads to affluence. It is impact plus influence that leads to affluence. Brand. Reno Mockery is a brand as far as Nigeria is concerned. He is a major voice in this nation. He's one of the voices in this nation that people listen to. Same for Wole Arole I just talked about. He said, he made a plea and people bought into it. Reno Mockery made a plea and within few hours, people bought into it. The power of personal branding. If people can buy you, they can buy anything from you. If people can buy the bottle of a soft drink, they can buy automatically they buy the content. To buy the bottle of a Maltina drink is to buy the content. So if people can buy you, they can buy your company. If people can buy you, they can buy from your company. If people can buy you, they can buy your product. If people can buy you, they can buy your services or your organization. So this is very, very important when it comes to branding. One of the major steps, one of the major thing we have to take into consideration when it comes to branding is, first of all, knowing yourself, identifying yourself. That's very, very important. You have to create an identity for yourself. You first have to create an identity you want people to know you for. When that is created, that identity now becomes a label around every other thing you do. That could be your business, that could be an organization, that could be a product, that could be a service. A label around it. Your identity, your personal identity becomes a label, becomes an emblem upon any other thing that you do. And this is very, very important, how powerful branding is. So I said, what is personal branding? What is personal branding? Personal branding has to do with the development of a unique professional identity. The development of a unique professional identity that is coherent with your message, coherent with your content, coherent with your administration, coherent with everything about you, which distinguishes you from others, either in your company or your industry. So personal branding is that which distinguishes you from another person. It is personal branding that distinguishes you from another person. Personal branding. It's very, very important we pay attention to the concept of personal branding. For instance, the reason why certain people go to certain church is not because the church is necessarily nice, but because of the person. Of course, that doesn't mean the church is not nice. The reason why some people go to certain organization is not because the organization is very exceptional, but because of the faces, the people behind those organizations. Never forget this. People buy from who they know, who they love, and who they trust. I never said people buy from what they know, what they love, and what they trust. I just said now that people buy from who they know, who they love, and who they trust. It's important you understand that even in the business world, in the corporate world, somebody else believes in you because of an endorsement. That is, somebody else can recommend or endorse you. And the company or the corporate organization will employ you or will buy into you or whatever you have to offer. Even not knowing you, they buy into you because of a face that they know, they like, and they trust. That is, just by personal recommendation. Sometimes you don't necessarily need to go to certain protocols because of a face that the company, the corporate organization, or the business entity, the business organization knows. They know the person, they like the person, they trust the person, and on just his recommendation, they give you a voice. On his recommendation, you are endorsed. Personal branding is very important. Your personal brand can be your signature. It can be the key to any company. It can be the key to any nation. For instance, there's this great man of God that I know, Bishop David Oyedepo. I believe some of us will know him. There was a time he had issues with his aircraft, and he had to land in a nation. And the pilot called through, and they asked, who is the person? The pilot told them who the person was. It was David Oyedepo. And they said, okay, he can land on personal recognition. Imagine the power of identity. He can land based on the power of recognition, without visa, without any necessary protocols. He was given the privilege of landing based on personal recognition. That is, if that aircraft comes down and they identify him as the person they know as David Oyedepo, they are going to give him the opportunity to come to their country. That is how powerful personal branding is. It is very, very important that people know you for who you are. People know you for what you can do. People know you for what you can offer. That goes a whole long way. I'm going to be sharing with us later the importance and the vitality of personal branding shortly afterwards. Now, why is personal branding the most important? Why is personal branding the most important of the various kinds of branding that I highlighted earlier? There are different kinds of branding now, but I said that I consider the most important kind of branding, personal branding. The most important branding I consider is personal branding. And the reason I said so is, if people don't buy you, they can't buy your product. If people don't buy you, they can't buy your idea. If people don't buy you, they can't buy your vision. If people don't buy you, they can't buy your skill. They can't buy into your whatever it is that you have to offer. If people cannot buy you, first of all, as the product, then there is nothing you have that will be bought. And there's a reason why many people don't sell. Many people have businesses, but they don't sell. Nobody knows them. Nobody knows them. Nobody knows them. They don't have any identity. It's very, very important. It's not about the best of product, that the fact that I can offer the best of product. The question is, who knows you? Who loves you? Who trusts you? You can sell anything if people know you. People can only know you if you have an identity. If people don't know you, for instance, the greatest market on the earth today is online. It's high time we recognized this reality. The greatest market on earth today is online marketing. I hear a lot of people say they are afraid of doing business. The earlier, the better. You better wake up. I have bought multiplied things. I can't even mention how many things I've bought online this year. I bought them and I received them safely. Now the issue is that there is a way to recognize what is fake and what is not fake. There's a way to recognize. I'm going to come to that later. There's a way to recognize a fake presence that is online and a presence that is not fake online. How do you recognize when somebody is fake? There's a way around it. I've bought many products and materials online. It's high time we recognize. Many people are afraid of doing online business. You better wake up to reality. A time will come whereby the only way you can get what you want is to get it online. I've gotten a number of things online, quite a number of things. Apart from digital products, I've gotten even physical products online. And I believe a number of us have. So in case you are still afraid of online business, even you, if your business is not online, you'll be highly limited. I'm just telling you the honest truth. You are meant to be online. You are supposed to either be on WhatsApp, or you are on Facebook, or you are on LinkedIn, or you are on the Instagram, or you are on a blog or website or whatever. If your business is not online, you will soon be outdated. And get me, and hear me very well. The best kind of marketing is online marketing. The greatest number of people who will patronize your product are online. Now, for instance, I'm working on a book that will be out shortly. Some of us may be wondering, how am I going to sell the book? My market is not in my physical location. Don't be deceived. There's a way to go about it. I know how to sell my product. I know how to go about my product. I really know how to go about my product. I'm not counting and banking on the patronage I will get in my current physical location. Never. Never. This age has gone beyond that. That's the essence of online. I will give us statistics later. The number of statistics of people who go online daily. The number of people on Facebook, the number of people on Instagram, the number of people on WhatsApp, and amazing. Oh, I have a coach. One of my coaches made over 4 million naira on WhatsApp in January this year. As at few days ago, that was as at last week, because I had a class with him last week, he had made over 14 million naira on WhatsApp alone. I'm not talking about Facebook and other social media handles. On WhatsApp alone, he had made over 14 million naira. 14 solid million naira. In short, I was in a class where he sold a product, a product worth 50,000 naira. He sold three. 3 people bought that product while we were in that class. He sold some that were for 20,000. He sold some that were 5,000. People buy only from brands that they know, that they like, and they trust. The earlier, the better for you to begin to build your personal brand. And not just building your personal brand, building your personal brand online. That is where the greatest market is. Whatever you are selling, be it cloth, be it a fan, be it a medical product, be it a digital product, whatever it is, I want to encourage you that the online market is the greatest market. Now hear this. I have one of my coaches, I had a class 2 weeks ago, and one of my coaches was showing to us the statistics. We saw it. He was showing to us the statistics of the amount of money he made from a book he wrote in April. He wrote a book in April, and as of 2 weeks ago, he had made over 10 million naira from just one book. He had written 6 books, but as of 2 weeks ago, he had made over 10 million naira from that book. Now, there you are saying you are afraid of online business. There you are saying you are afraid. You have to wake up. All you need to do is to up your game. All you need to do is to build the intelligence required to know when you are being played or not. And there's a way to go about it. I'll come to that later. Maybe later in another class or later next year. So it is very, very important we begin to cultivate the fortitude of building our personal brand online. We begin to cultivate the art of building our brands online. Not just online, building a personal brand. Building a personal brand. If you are still with me, please, I want you to type in the comment section and let me know that you are with me. Let me know by typing in the comment section, say, I am with you. I am with you. Please kindly do that very quickly. I am with you. I'm waiting for us to do that before I go ahead. Type in the comment section, I am with you. I am with you. Personal brand. Why is it the most important kind of branding? One of my coaches said, no one buys from a faceless brand. That's the reason why most brands have ambassadors. Have you ever experienced that or noticed that? Most brands have ambassadors. The reason is clear. People don't buy from faceless brands. Most times, even if people don't want to buy the product, they eventually end up buying the product because of the brand. Because of the brand. Because of the brand. That is the identity behind the brand. So, no one buys from a faceless brand. Please understand this. No one buys from a faceless brand. That's the reason personal branding is the most important brand. If you have a corporate brand, for instance, or you have a geographical brand, for instance, or you have an upgraded business brand, for instance, no one buys from such brands without a face. So Get this right. No one buys from a faceless brand. If you want to sell your business effectively, give your business a personal brand. Give your business a personal brand. So what I'm trying to say in essence is, it is this kind of brand, that is the personal branding, that sells brand. It is this kind of brand that sells product. It is this kind of brand, personal brand or branding, that sells services. It is this kind of brand that sells an organization. That is, an organization can make a whole hell of profit as a result of one person behind it. So it is very, very important we build into our personal brand. It's important we build into our personal brand. Now, the importance of creating a personal brand is that it gives you an opportunity as well to launch unlimited business ventures over your lifetime. That is, if people know you for 18, particularly, let's assume that people know you for Indomie. You are the face behind Indomie. Then you have the opportunity to go into other areas of businesses. You have the opportunity to go into other areas of businesses, developing other areas of businesses that we sell. They will sell because people already know the face behind the business. That is, you win their trust almost immediately, even though you are starting a new brand aside the old brand you had before. So this is one of the reasons, or one of the importance of having a personal brand. Having a personal brand does a whole lot. Number one, it helps your product sell. It helps your service sell, because people don't buy from faceless brands. Having a personal brand helps your business develop faster, especially if you are delving into another kind of brand. People already know the face, and they trust the face, and they like the face. They just, they buy into the new brand almost immediately, almost overnight. So this is one of the reasons why it is important for us to build our personal brand. This is one of the reasons why it is important for us to build our personal brand. Now, what is the significance of a personal brand? What is the significance of a personal brand? Everyone has a personal brand. Don't say I'm not a celebrity. Don't say I am not a top notch. Don't say I'm not techie. Don't say I'm not an expert. Everyone has a personal brand, and every brand can be developed. Hear this. Everyone has a personal brand, and every brand can be developed. Everyone has a personal brand, and every brand can be developed. So, and we must brand ourselves in a very profitable way. Branding is not just about branding. Branding, package yourself in such a way that you sell. Not everything sells. Not everything sells. The kind of brand some people have simply attracts people to say thank you to them. That is the kind of brand and the kind of client or customers they attract. Is the kind of customers, that come after everything, or after noticing what you do, they say thank you. You have to brand yourself in a more profitable way. And that is why you have to understand how to build brands, to create brands that sell. It's not just about building a brand, but building a brand that sells. It's not just about building a brand, but building profitable brands that sells. Profitable brands that sell. It is very, very, very important. And never forget this, your personal brand is one of your biggest assets. Your personal brand is one of your biggest assets. Your personal brand is one of your biggest assets. I say an asset is what puts money into your pocket. And it has the capacity to give you money temporarily and even more benefits in the future. That's an asset. So your personal brand is one of your biggest assets in the world of business. In the world of wealth creation, your personal brand is one of your biggest assets. It is very, very important you understand this. Your personal brand can take your business to places you never thought possible. Your personal brand can take your business to places you never imagined possible. Your personal brand can take your business to places you never thought possible. People only buy from who they know, like I earlier said, who they like and who they trust. So personal branding makes actually this possible. Now, what are the elements of branding? Let us look very quickly at what the elements of branding are. What are the elements of branding? At this point, I would like us to understand that there are two basic elements of branding that are subdivisioned. There are two basic elements of branding that are subdivided or subdivisioned. One of them is virtual, the unseen elements, and the other is the visual element. One is the unseen element, and the other is the visual elements. Now, what are these elements? First, let us look at the virtual brand element. The virtual brand element. What are the virtual brand elements? That is, those that are really not seen. Now, before I come to the one I just scrolled over, let us look first of all at vision. Vision. Or better still, let's move back. Number one, I have your story, your brand story. Your story. Your story is very, very important. What problem did you encounter in your back days? How did you generate solution to those problems, which you prefer solutions to today? What is your aspiration? What is your passion? It's important people know you. They know you. What have you gone through? What can you offer? What is your drive? What is your passion? What is your aspiration? This is very, very important. Your number one virtual brand element is your story. Your story is what makes people connect with you. What have you gone through? You will discover that there are many people doing the same thing you are doing. But what makes you different from others and what makes people connect with you is your story. Those who have similar stories with you will easily connect with you. Those who have similar story, those who have similar experiences with you, those who have experiences, the kind of things you have gone through before, will easily connect with you. I need to understand, there are a lot of people, if you come to the marketplace, there are a lot of people doing the same thing you are doing. And how are you going to beat the competition? How are you going to separate yourself from the crowd? One of the ways by which you can build a brand around yourself is first of all to have a story. What is your story? We need to know your story. We need to understand your story. This is very, very important. We need to understand your story. One of the things I came to discover while growing up is that I learned nothing about money. And that is why I'm very passionate about helping people understand how to make money. I observed while growing up, my mother, my father, of course, they never did it deliberately. It's simply because they didn't understand much. They never sat me down and told me anything about money. While growing in school, the school never sat us down and told us honest truths about money. The school basically taught us on how to be better, to become better employees. We were rather taught on how to become better employees. Now, I grew up spiritually to think, for those in the faith, in the Christian faith, I grew up spiritually to think that some basic things we do, like giving, tithing, sacrifice, can make you rich, can make you prosperous. Of course, I'm not downplaying on the vitalities, the importance of all these elements. But just in themselves, they cannot make a man rich. I grew up to think these things are the things responsible for making one rich. I later discovered that it isn't it. This created an unusual burden. This created an unusual drive, an unusual passion to see young people like me know the truth that I never knew at the time I thought I should have known them. this became a driving force. You might be amazed. Some people know me as a pastor, but you may be wondering, why am I so passionate about doing what I'm doing? It is because of how I grew up. I came from a background, a very humble background. You may be amazed. I came from a humble background. I can never forget those years when we cooked. I know some of us who know what we call amala. Some of us knows what we call amala, or what we call swallow. In what we call swallow in Nigeria. Now you understand that. In some Igbos we call it swallow, eba or akpu. In those days, our amala in those days was made either with dawa or maize. That was what we ate in those days. And we cooked okra soup. I can never forget. We had okra soup, and there was no fish inside. There was no oil in the okra soup. I believe you understand what I'm talking about. Imagine you eating an okra soup or okra soup that has no oil, palm oil inside of it. No fish inside of it, and we ate it that way for a long time. So I have come from such an humble background. I've come from a background where we struggled at some point in our family financially. Unfortunately, there was no way out. We grew up by the mercies and the grace of God. But thank God for certain exposures that made me at least have some knowledge, basic knowledge about money and business that I have today. Now, this is the reason why I'm so passionate. I'm very passionate. And I would do all it takes to help as many as I can to come to this light. Fasting does not make people rich. Get this right. Giving doesn't make people rich. Sacrifice does not make people rich. Prayers does not make people rich. All these things that we know, for those in the faith, these things don't make people rich. They are all systems of advantage. They are actually systems. They give us an edge in the marketplace. They give us an edge in the business world. But in themselves, they don't make us rich. There are certain things, it begins with exposure. We have to develop a mindset that seeks for knowledge. We have to develop a mindset that pursues after personal development. We have to pursue a mindset that is highly driven to buying materials, digital products. Now, I put up several adverts. I've put up adverts about my coming book materials. Of course, they contain the in-depth of value. That is the real fact. Do you know that some people will not still buy them? Do you know that there are plenty digital materials out there? Many people will not still buy. Many people will not still buy. They will never read. Put a video out, they will never watch them. As a matter of fact, many people think you are trying to impress them by your video. Many people think you are trying to impress them by your materials. Unfortunately, if either you pay now or you play now and pay later, or you play later and pay now, either of the two. It's either you play now and pay later, or you pay now and play later, whichever way. Or you play later while you pay now. So it's very, very important that we take our life very serious. And if you're a student here, this is the best time for you. I'm glad you are hearing this at such a time as this. If you're a student, I never had the privilege to hear the things I'm sharing with you now. I never had the things to hear them when I was a student. In short, while I was a student, I thought our prayers and all that will bring us money. To be honest, that's not what brings money. That's not what brings money. And that is why I'm passionate to help people see the truth. I'm passionate about helping people understand the truth. And if this is your story, if this connects with you, that means we're on the same page. If this connects with you, that means you are in the right place. If this connects with you, that means whatever material I bring here will be valuable to you. So it is very, very important. I believe a number of people came from humble backgrounds. They never had the privileges. In short, many people don't have the privilege of buying materials. And this is one of the reasons of presenting this free. However, if you want to really make any relevant difference, impact in your business, this will be my counsel. You have to learn to buy materials, save and get I saved to get certain materials. I bought certain materials. I saved to get certain materials. I've bought, it will no longer be a story. I've been saying this again and again. I've bought many materials. I've bought many materials without any form of exaggeration. No form of exaggeration. I have over 3,000, in short, that is just a limit. I have over 3,000 digital products. I don't mean 3,000 naira. I have over 3,000 I have over 3,000 digital products. I have over 3,000 materials that can make me relevant in the financial and business world. You can do the same too. You can do the same too. So please, it's very, very important that we pay attention to personal development. So this is what our story does. Our stories make people connect with us. Not everybody will listen to you, but everybody within the line of what you do who hears your story and has a similar story, or they will connect with you. They will connect with you. So one of the ways of building our personal brand, we were talking about the two kinds of brand element. We talked about the virtual and we're talking about the visual. Currently, I'm still on the virtual. That is, those people cannot really see. People were not there when you were going through certain things. Your story, it becomes virtual to them. It becomes virtual. You take them to the virtual world when you begin to tell them your story. It's not a tangible, people cannot see what you went through physically. But by telling your stories, they connect with your story. So if you want to build your brand, you must have a story. Please get this right. You must have a brand story. You must have a story. Where are you coming from? Who are you? What have you gone through? What was your challenge? What were the solutions you preferred that gave you that kind of result? So this is basically how we build a brand. I'm still coming to that. Just pay attention to me, please. So one of the virtual brand elements we have is your story. Don't forget that, story. If you are still with me, please kindly put my story. My story is relevant. My story is relevant. Can you do that very quickly, please? Put my story is relevant. I am waiting. My story is relevant. Yes. Thanks for following. Treasure Best, Billionaire Treasure Best. Thanks for following. My story is very relevant. If you don't have a story, you don't have a root. If you don't have a root, you don't have a foundation. If you don't have a foundation, you cannot have you cannot have an edifice. Your foundation determines your edifice. Your foundation determines your height. Your story is your foundation. Your story is your root. So it's very, very important. So one of the virtual brand elements, we said there are two kinds of brand elements. There are two kinds of brand elements. We have virtual brand element and we have visual brand element. I want to focus first of all on the virtual brand element. And number one in that category is your story. Second brand element is your vision. Only you can see your vision. Your vision. Where are you really going? People need to know where you are going, so that people who are going there can follow you. Where are you really going? And what are you trying to achieve? This is very, very important. Where are you going? And what are you trying to achieve? Your brand element 2, vision. Vision. Do you have a vision? Do you have a vision? We are looking at how to build a brand. If you want to build a brand, number one, you must have a story. That story gives you an identity. It makes people know you. We know you. We know where you're coming from. We know your root. We can know you. We can like you and connect with you and trust with you. Secondly, you must have a vision. Without a vision, you have no future. Vision is a picture of the future. If you don't have a vision, a personal vision, you are not going anywhere. You are going nowhere. In short, I will talk about this later. I will talk about vision later. If you don't have a vision, you are going nowhere. Even if you have money in your hands, that's what I'm saying. I'm not even talking as a pastor now. You are going nowhere if you don't have a vision. That's why you must pay attention to the subject of vision. It's very, very important. You pay attention to the subject of vision. Another virtual brand, that you must have is your mission. You must have a mission. The track to your destination. The track to your destination. How are you going to get there? How will you get to where you are going? Vision is where you are going. Now, how are you going to get to where you are going? You must have a mission. If you want to create a personal brand, you must have a story. You must have a vision. That is, there's something you are trying to achieve. You must have a mission, how you are going to achieve it. I have a commitment to reach several schools next year, several institutions. I have a commitment to reach several institutions with Billionaires Academy. Already we have Billionaires Academy in a school. We have Billionaires Academy about to open in 2 schools. In short, about 4 schools as I speak to you. Billionaires Academy is about to open in 2 schools in my current location as I speak to you. The Billionaires Academy is already operative in one of the schools. I have a physical class. I have a school with over 50 students. I have 2 schools that we are just about to, okay, what am I even saying? I have about 4 schools that we're about to launch Billionaires Academy here. Billionaires Academy here in my current location. Outside this location, I have 2 schools already. There's an arrangement whereby Billionaires Academy will be launched. How do you want to achieve your vision? Do you have a vision? How do you intend to achieve your vision? I have a vision to see Billionaires Academy. Particularly, I love young people. I love students, of course. I love even people who are not students, of course. But then people who are about to come into life. People who are about to be exposed to life. People who don't really know what life is all about. I love to get them prepared before they come to meet the disappointments, before they come to meet the surprises that life has out there. Yes, I know you have faith, but then you have to be prepared. Faith does not ignore preparation. So this is one of the reasons why Billionaires Academy was instituted. It wasn't instituted for only students, of course, but it's one of the reasons. I love to see young people do well financially. I love to see young people do financially well. So this is very, very important. We pay attention to this. If you want to create a personal brand, you have to have virtual brand element. What are these virtual brand elements for? You must have values. What are your values? It is your value. Your value is the way through which you achieve your goals. You achieve your vision. Your value is the propelling force, the drive. Your value. You know what happens. You know what happens. If you need something, you go as far as possible to get that thing. When something becomes valuable to you, you go as far as possible to get it. Do you have values? Your values are the propelling force that motivates you towards the fulfillment of your vision. If you don't have values, you cannot achieve much in life. Do you have values? I have values. I have values. I have values. Spiritual values, business values, I have values. It's very important you have values. What are the values we know you for? What are the missions we know you for? What are the visions we know you for? This is very, very important. One of my core values is courtesy. For those who know me, one of my core values is courtesy. It's one of my core values. It's something I employ in all my businesses and everything I do. Courtesy, 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 courtesy. It's a core value for me. And it should be if you're in the business world, because you will not go too far if you are not courteous. It's very, very important. You must have values. You must have values. You must have values. Value drives you and propels you in the realization of your vision. Another virtual brand element is your target audience. Who are your target audience? Who are your answers for? Who are you a savior to? Who are you a messiah to? Who is your target audience? This is very, very important. Virtual brand elements. That is elements we cannot physically see around our brands. Who are your target audience? This is very, very important. The virtual brands element also talks about target audience. Who are you a messiah to? If you don't have a target audience, you will never sell. If you sell to the wrong audience, you will never sell. Or if you market to the wrong audience, you will never sell. Your target audience is very, very important. If you want to make money, for instance, there are certain things you can't sell to students. They don't have the money. Even if they like the product, they don't have the money. You will be wasting your time advertising your Lamborghini or whatever it is to a student. He is a student. There are certain things you don't waste your time over. There are certain people you don't waste your energies over. The reason is because they are not your market, their target audience. This is very, very important. You have to understand your target audience. Who am I modeled for? Who am I designed to meet their needs? It's important you understand your target audience. And another thing is that you must have a philosophy. You must have a philosophy. What is your message? What do you believe in? What are your beliefs? You must have a philosophy. These things makes us know you. Remember when I come, I keep saying I help young people. These are my audience, young people to explore their financial. I help people who have gifts, who have talents, who have passion, who have drive. But they don't understand how to turn these things to money. These are the kind of people I love. These are the kind of people I want to help. Who are my target audience? People who have been battered financially, who are not financially educated. These are my target audience. These are the kind of people I want to relate with, because I have value that they will love to have. I have value I believe can change their lives. So this is very, very important. Who are your target audience? What is your philosophy? What is the core of your content? What is the core of your message? What notion do you want people to have once you are in their thoughts? Your brand philosophy must inspire the people and be relevant to your geography. It must be relevant to your space. Must be relevant to your niche. This is very, very important. Now, for those of us who are still on or who are maybe joining, never forget we are looking at the different kinds of brands. We looked at, we saw we have personal branding, we have corporate branding, we have business branding, we have geographical branding, we have upgraded branding, and many much more. However, we said that the most important kind of branding is personal branding. Why? Because nobody buys from a faceless brand. People buy only from people they know, people they can see, people they trust. That is why your physical presence, your online presence is very important. You have to always be online. You have to always post content. You have to always drop something. You have to always drop something online, not necessarily selling. Now, each time they see you is about selling. Now, dropping valuable content that adds to people. People want to know you online. When you come tomorrow saying, I want to sell a product, they will buy because they know you. They can trust you. They know you come online, and it is easier to find you. They can easily find you. But if somebody is meeting you for the first time, you may be a scammer or an hacker. So it's easier to find, to find a scammer or a hacker online. It's not difficult. There are several steps. I'll come to that later. How to know a fake account, or how to know a scammer or an hacker online, doing business online. There's how to know, and there's how to go about it. I'll come to that later. That will be another class of its own. So kindly understand that it's important for you to build an identity online. Now, why am I saying online? I'm taking it online now. I'm bringing it to the online space. The reason is because the biggest market is online. The biggest market is online. The biggest market is not that old market in your place. The biggest market is online, and you can sell and sell where? You can sell. You can sell. You can sell. I'll be sharing my stories with us shortly, maybe later today or later tomorrow. But kindly understand that your biggest market is online. Hence, how you build your brand online matters a lot. How you present your CV online matters a lot. How you present your account on Facebook or on your social media account matters a lot. And you must understand where your target markets are. Not everybody's target market is on Facebook. Some people's target market is on LinkedIn. On LinkedIn, we have more professionals. If you want to meet professionals, that is where you find the people, LinkedIn. You'll find professionals on LinkedIn. If you want to find millionaires, people with money, who have money, who have businesses with, that has high monetary value, you meet them on Instagram. You meet them on Instagram. Millionaires, the rich are on Instagram. That is where you find the rich. So if the rich are your target audience, then you are going to be doing more business on the Instagram. Facebook has its own audience as well, young people. Facebook is more majorly for young people, the young generation. If you want to do business with young people, you find them on Facebook. However, if you want the political elites, you want to do business with political people, you want to socialize with politicians, just go to Twitters. Go to Twitters. I'm going to be giving out the statistics of all these social media handles later. The biggest businesses today are online. You have to learn to take your business online. And I'm going to tell us how to do that later. This class is not for that. So, however, understand that the biggest market is online. If you are still with me, please kindly type the biggest market is online. Please, if you are following me, type the biggest market is online. Can you do that very quickly? The biggest market is online. I'm waiting for our comment in the comment section. The biggest market is online. The biggest market is online. Can you do that very quickly? The biggest market is online. Hi, billionaire Esther Samuel. My story is relevant. Thanks for joining. Thanks for joining. Thanks for joining. My story is relevant. My story is relevant. Yeah. So, it's important that you know where to find your target audience. Know where to find your target audience. I do coaching services. When I started off, my coach told me, he said, if you are starting, you must start with 100,000 or 300,000. My coach charges group coaching for 300,000 and charges 1.4 million for individual coaching class. 1.4 million and charges 300,000 for group coaching. When I was about starting my coaching class, my coach told me I should go for 100,000. Now, the literal question is, considering I'm working with young people, where will I get my target audience? Where will people come from? Who will pay me 100,000? But you know what? I've mastered the art. I've learned the art. How to get my target audience is not a problem. I understand how. Just in case you want to learn, all you need to do is just to enroll. All you need to do is to enroll into the Billionaires Academy coaching class. All you need to do is to enroll into the Billionaires Academy class. Anything you are selling, there's how to get your target audience. There's how to get your target audience. You must know where your target audience are, and that is why we must master the art of relationship. Understand how to network. There are many groups out there that is associated with what we want to become or what we want to do. All you need to do is to join those groups, join pages, join those groups, join those pages, and learn, connect. Later on, I'm going to share with you, of course, later, that will be in the Billionaires Academy coaching class. I'm going to share with you how to identify or where to identify your target audience, depending on whatever you are doing. There is where to get your target audience. And later on, I'm going to be talking about the relevance of a coach and a mentor in business. The relevance of a coach and a mentor in your financial venture. I'm going to be talking on the relevance of a mentor and the relevance of a coach as it relates to your financial venture or your business venture. I'm going to talk about that later. Just bear that in mind. I'll come to that later. So it's very, very important you bear that in mind. You must have a target audience. You must have a philosophy. What is your philosophy? What philosophy should we know you for? This is very, very, very important. Now, it's just about an hour from when I started. I think I should be rounding up now. I'll be back tomorrow. Okay, between today and tomorrow, I think we should be getting ready to receive our special gifts. If you have hooked up to this broadcast since the beginning of this broadcast, get ready because I have some special packages for us, Christmas gifts and New Year gifts. So hook up so that you will not lose it. I may just put a link on the screen and I'll put it out. It will be only for those who are currently online at that time. So take advantage of the opportunity. I'll be back here tomorrow. Tomorrow will be the last day for this online class. If you are not there, you lose it. Only those who are present, and I'm sure they will never give it to you. You will have to receive it from them by paying them for it. So that is the special gift or offer I have for us. Now, another visual brand element, which I believe is the major brand element that I should have started with. I'm sorry I didn't start with that. I guess the slide somehow, I don't know what happened to the slide. The first that should be on that list, all right, are you with me? When I'm talking about visual brand element, okay, sorry, I'm still on. I'm still connected, so we are on. It wasn't a mistake, so flow on, please. Talking about visual brand element, I just talked about the virtual brand element. I said your story is a virtual brand element. Your vision, virtual brand element. Or your mission, virtual brand element. Your message, your philosophy, virtual brand element. I talked about your target audience. They are also part of your virtual brand element. Now let us look at the visual brand elements. I said there are two kinds of elements, brand elements. There are two kinds of brand elements. The virtual brand, that is the things you cannot see, that is responsible for branding you personally or branding your product. The things we can literally not see physically, but they are responsible as part of the elements that help to build your brand, which I mentioned. Your story, we cannot see where you are coming from, but when you are telling your story, it helps people connect with your brand. Your vision, your mission. The reason why some of us are here now is because my vision or mission connects with you. So sorry for that. It's because my vision or mission connects with you. So it's very, very important that we understand. It's very, very important that we understand the elements responsible for enabling us to build our personal brand. We need to understand the elements responsible for helping us, that will help us build a brand. We have the virtual elements and we have the visual elements. The virtual element speaks of your story, speaks of your vision, speaks of your mission, speaks of your philosophy, speaks of your target audience, speaks of your values. These are virtual elements, your virtual elements. We also have visual elements. We have visual elements. There are also visual elements. And the number one visual elements, please pay attention to this. In short, I think I will stop here because I would like to start from here tomorrow. It's going to be a big bang. So I'm super excited that you stayed this long so far. Thanks for joining. Thanks for hanging on. Once again, this is Samson Samuel. I help young people explore their financial opportunity through the deployment of their gifts, talents, skills, and passion. I help people move from their passion to their billions. I help young people move from passion to profits. So basically, this is what I do. And I also help people promote their product. I help people promote their brands through the strategic power of influence that reaches the world. So this is very, very important. And we said branding is very relevant because it's a system of marketing. It's a system of promotion. So the number one visual brand I would like to start off with is your name. So I will start off from here. I will start up from here tomorrow. Once again, you are especially welcome. Never forget this. Always remember that certain skills may not put food on your table, but they will make you more valuable in the marketplace. And also remember that it takes impact plus influence, your network, for you to have influence. If you want to be relevant in the business world, you have to be strategic at your influence, with your influence. There's a way to go about influence, and I'm going to come to that later. So never forget that it takes impact plus influence to have affluence. You are especially welcome. Thank you for joining. Thanks for hanging on. God bless you. Till we meet again tomorrow.